Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Forgive me for the audio quality. It is what it is. Until things are changed, please remember to hit the like button. Make sure that you guys go over to Partner Jar News Jamaica and Partner Jar Global News TV and subscribe to both of those platforms. I want to encourage you guys to support Andre Stevens' effort. Also, anybody else, Marvin, Atta for the Press, whoever, it doesn't matter. We have some credible people out there that are really genuinely on the ground looking to help people. So, please support them. Support them. Please, my beg you. Support them. But in this conversation right here, ladies and gentlemen, it's multifaceted. And, you know, it's very seldom that very rare that I listen to Perry in Christ on the platform and I disagree with him. I mean, it's so hard to disagree with Perry. You see, when you're speaking truth, that's what happens. But, I'm not going to make it a long intro. Like I said, the audio is not so beautiful. So I want to say, please hit the like button. Get us to 10,000 likes, 2,000 shares. Subscribe. Get us to 50,000 subs. And follow me on Instagram. All that good stuff. Right? Let's get to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to this.
By the scenery. And I'm asking again, is this government doing enough to help the persons who are going out there, who are trying their best with the little that they have, to give the students and the teachers hope, to give them a better lived experience? 35 residents have to be staying at the school, while some students are probably there trying to get through classes. You know why? Because this country has failed to put in proper measures as it relates to disaster readiness or disaster preparedness. I don't even think there's a proper shelter in those areas. What is a shelter? A shelter is not a school. A shelter is not a school. A shelter should have certain amenities that can attend to concerns such as health, safety, security, rehabilitation, things of that nature. There's no proper shelter. So what the people have to do? Have 35 residents residing at the schools while students are trying to get through classes. And I'm asking you tonight, do you believe that this is a solution to the problem? No long-term vision, no form of forward thinking. Now we have students who are going to be distracted because a lot of them, they have not fully recovered from the trauma of Hurricane Melissa. But them say school must start. On top of that, while having to try and remember their notes and prepare for exams, they have to look around and see 35 other people who are homeless as well. My question is, what type of environment is this that is going to be conducive for learning and development? What kind of environment at this school is going to create a space where students can do well in their examinations, where the 35 residents can feel some sense of hope? It is a failure on the part of the government. It is a failure. I was having a conversation yesterday. I think I mentioned it. I was having a conversation with some persons on my TikTok, and we were talking, and a Labourite came up. And we asked him the question, tell us clearly, what were the preparations done by the government pre-Hurricane Melissa? And tell us of the initiatives that were done post-Hurricane Melissa that gives you the confidence that this government has done the best thing where Hurricane Melissa is concerned. And ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't tell a lie tonight. Instead of putting us to shame then, because here I get an opportunity to tell us why the Prime Minister is the best Prime Minister to take us through disasters, why this government is the best. Instead of coming and putting us all to shame, the JLP supporter mentioned the 18 years that PNP was in power. What can go so?
What can go so?
Instead of giving us the facts, if there be any facts to support your argument that the government did its best, because remember, the lady from World Bank said that this is a world leading response. If you agree with her, then tell us what was done before Melissa and what is being done after Melissa. That is so grand. It is one to write home about. It is one to go down in the history books. And instead of telling us, all they could have done is tell us about the 18 years that PNP was in power. Pivot, beat around the bush, go around the corner, they jump over the wall. They no direct answer. You know why? Because the government doesn't have a plan. There's no plan of action. There's no POA. So because there's no plan of action, they're doing things as they go along. The country don't know what direction this country is going. Before Melissa, while we're on the point of the Westmoreland schools and the shelters, I have to bring it up. Because before Melissa, and I'm going to say it again, the relevant questions were asked. I hear some people talking about nobody could prepare for a natural disaster. Lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell.
Cuba prepared.
Cuba.
One Cuba died.
Cuba prepared. And not one Cuban lost their life because
Desmond Mackenzie, the devil is a liar. I said it, Yo, when I heard him say that, I said, these are my confessions. Failure. That is an admittance of failure. How dare you say to us, the people of Jamaica, that nobody can prepare for a category 1 or a category 5 storm. That's a built-in fail-safe excuse. Absolute failure. Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute failure. The devil is a liar.
They prepared. Proper preparation will prevent destruction. So what's the excuse? And remember that this JLP government both say we're better than Cuba because manly did want to turn the country in a communist and that. And them say, Cuba poor and that. Well, Cuba did prepare. And because of the preparation, no lives were lost. So I'm asking you tonight, be objective, you Labourite supporters. You're Jamaicans, some of you love, But I cannot take this unreasonable reasoning. How are you going to tell me that this country was prepared? Remember that the Prime Minister said it, The Prime Minister said that the country was ready for Melissa. Yet we did have proper shelters. We never have proper shelters. Some of these so-called shelters don't even...
Hey, Bridget, may I go help you out? No. I will not let this opportunity pass.
Bolo,
I will not let this opportunity pass to help out the good brethren with a reference of what he's talking about. See, ladies and gentlemen, let me carry you to Exhibit A. Words coming out of Andrew Holness' own mouth on CNN as to how prepared he was or the country was for this storm. Listen to this.
I think that, we have mounted a very credible and strong preparation and recovery strategy. And that will help us to ensure that our citizens who may now be facing hardship, they can have confidence that the government will be able to reach them immediately after the storm. Government will was done, and of the hurricane had damage to we have mounted a very credible and strong preparation and recovery strategy, and that will help us to ensure that our citizens who may now be facing hardship, they can have confidence that the government will be able to reach them immediately after the storm is past. Be able to reach them immediately after the storm is past. Be able to reach them immediately after the storm is past.
So, Perry didn't tell a lie. Let's go back. Let's continue.
The Prime Minister said that the country was ready for Melissa. Yet we didn't have proper shelters. We never have proper shelters. Some of the so-called shelters don't even have disinfectant. Remember that Mr. Stevens went there recently and had to basically... He smelled feces. So you say you're turning the schools in shelters, but not even cleaning supplies? No cleaning agent? It never dawned on you. It never come to your mind that you would have to prepare the people with all of these things. No, not that even blankets. Some of the people have is the blanket drive. PDTV news started. Why many persons and other persons giving started to get blankets? Because PDTV said, no man, a lot of them cold, the shelters are cold. And we say, make we start give blankets. And when we start give blankets, people start give blankets. So I'm saying, what was the visionary preparation that was done? Why you are going to be barefaced in telling us that the government was ready. Dr. Reid worked with him, very close to him, while I was guild president. He said that senior doctors say, because he represents the medical association, right? Senior doctors say leptospirosis outbreak after Melissa was predictable, of course. And if something is predictable, it means that it could have been prepared for. And I'm going to go back, because I'm not going to forget these things, When Dr. Dawes stood up in the last PMP conference, one is to be had tomorrow, and when Dr. Dawes was in Parliament recently, he brought up the concerns of creating a man-made disaster if the government fails to act and to act quickly. But instead of taking constructive criticisms and caution, instead of looking beyond color, you know what the government did? The government said that Dr. Dawes was playing politics. And he's fear-mongering the people, and he's an alarmist. I don't know such thing. And of course, you know the Labourites who follow the Pied Piper, they will come and say, a propaganda party, no outbreak not gonna happen. Because they are taking the cue from how they see their leaders respond to serious concerns like these. So they shun it. No concern. But see there? Major outbreak. And let me tell you, this is not just in the West. It's not just in the West. I don't want people to believe that just because the outbreak started there, it's this alone. In Spanish Town, there's a concern. I was at Friendship Primary School this morning. Andre keeping devotion with the children. And the principal said that they're going to have a major cleanup initiative just to ensure that the students will always keep the place clean, because they are also being warned about the possibilities of leptospirosis in their environment. So Tufton said that Dr. Dawes was still campaigning. Can you imagine? How can the real doctor be campaigning? He knows. He knows the possibilities of what can happen if we don't take these things seriously. So see there? Senior doctors, the committee, the boards are saying that this was predictable after such a major rainfall.
Send you the original video.
Ishmael, put up that video, Ishmael.
That video, Ishmael, ball out.
We have to ball out tonight. We're gonna
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything.
So we're gonna play that video because we need to understand. They said it was AI, Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
They said it was AI. So that, so everybody have excuse for things, of that nature, man.
Yeah, post it now.
But ladies and gentlemen, when Dr. Dawes raised the issue, it's a very serious conversation we're having tonight. It was predictable. You cannot, as a health apparatus, as the health minister, be so slight when something like this is expected after such heavy rainfall. Remember that Melissa hovered over the country for some time. You can imagine that the rats, their habitats would have been destroyed, flooded out. So you're going to expect rats to be all over the place. You're going to expect flooding. You're going to expect dead dogs, dead this, dead that. You're going to expect all of these things. Therefore, there should have been a better response, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm saying tonight. There should have been a better response from this government.
Thank you very much, Dr. Spence. So at this time, I'm going to ask our international partner or multilateral partner, Ian Stein, country rep for the Pan American Health Organization, who is with us and has been a critical part of our Melissa response with the support, both in kind and with other supplies and technical support.
Oh, that in a
Just
corner,
comment on the
people.
approach and any other suggestions for the
Oh,
public.
that
Thank
over
you,
there,
Ian.
so. How that?
So you see video proof, video evidence as to where the concerns of the minister is. You see where the concerns are and where the focus is. And that's why leptospirosis. That's why leptospirosis. Men account for all 8 suspected leptospirosis deaths. So I don't want persons to feel as if, and even in the ministers that morning, when the Minister of Health confirmed the outbreak or declared the outbreak, because when you have an increased amount of cases regarding to a particular health concern, the protocol under the Ministry of Health is to declare an outbreak. And even in declaring the outbreak, there was this condescending tone from the minister as if, don't take this too seriously. It's as if he still wanted to make it seem as if there was nothing to be worried about.
Brother.
And I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, this could have been avoided.
Of course, it could have been avoided. The man, them a PR people. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Let me show you how real leadership operate, even with limited resources. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen.
So although the main gully on Adair Drive in Waterford was cleaned prior to the passage of Melissa, we are now seeing where the floodwaters have brought down a lot of debris, silt, as well as the overgrown lilies that had been affecting the drain for a number of years. All of that has been washed down, and now we have to clean again the drain in anticipation of the next weather system that is going to affect Jamaica. So although we are cleaning up from the passage of Hurricane Melissa, we are anticipating and preparing for the next, whether it is a tropical depression, whether it's a cold front, whether it's a hurricane, whatever it is that puts us at risk for flooding. We are preparing for that right now. And the cleanup work is well underway here. And we hope to have this completed within a week or 2. So stay tuned as we continue the help of the NWA to make Southeast St. Catherine safer for you. And of course, the side effect is that you will have less mosquitoes.
So people, want to see how you be proactive. Remember say hurricane just gone enough. Remember say hurricane season not finishing up. And as a doctor, the man understand, right, how important these types of activities are in preventative measures. But again, the Labourite government that we have, they are not proactive, they are reactive, right? And I'm telling you, I am struggling with whether it is incompetence or sabotage. Like they are doing this thing on purpose. I am struggling between those two conclusions.
So we have heard the complaints about sewage overflowing, and work has commenced on the pipeline that was collapsed between Susan Avenue and Debbie Avenue. This blockage that has caused the overflows that you would have been experiencing will be addressed, and we're hoping that this project will be completed by Tuesday. We are aware of other areas within the Edgewater community with a similar issue, the aging pipes are collapsing, and as a result of that, there is blockage and sewage overflow into homes and on the roadways. But we're addressing them one step at a time, and we're working with the MWC to ensure that order is restored as soon as possible, roads are cleared, and the sewage lines are replaced. So thank you for your patience, and we continue to serve you, the constituents in Southeast St. Catherine.
Again, proactive measures, preventative measures. And when it come on to leptospirosis and other breakouts, when it come on to the safety of our children and everybody, you know, the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, even the men out there that are doing cleanup of the debris, you know, volunteers, regular citizens. There was a story about a man that died from leptospirosis, 68 years old, and it was on his birthday that he contracted it. And his family is torn apart because he was helping and aiding, you know, to clean up the areas. His name is Roderick Brissett. I'm not gonna go into it because, you know, it's gonna be this video is already over the limit that I wanted it to be. But here it is in the cleaner. All right. This man ran every morning, 68 years old, have 6 children. You understand? He was a fit person. He played football regularly. And leptospirosis took him down in 4 days. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. And anybody that tries to place this down and tells us that we're gaslighting and all of this, they are evil. They are wicked. They don't mean the people any well. Gaslighting where? You understand? So big up Perry, big up Panajar TV, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a wonderful day.